Welcome back to Next Generation.
Who wouldn't want their trash cans enclosed and hidden?
I know I would.
So we are.
We're gonna make it happen. Let's enclose our trash cans so that we don't have to look at them except for when they're on the street getting picked up.
Yes. This is just kind of a basic idea for you guys to use. We're not gonna have a lid on the top, but you could.
And or if you deal with animals or you live in the wilderness, I would recommend adding a top.
Good idea.
But we don't
have
deal with
that
those
problem.
animals. I'm excited.
I've been ready for this one.
I know. I have too. I've been wanting to do this since we had a house to enclose trash cans with. What we're gonna do first is measure the height of our trash can. And we have 2 trash cans, so we're gonna measure the width of those to make sure that our enclosure fully covers them.
So we're gonna put them in place where we're gonna build the enclosure so we can see exactly how much room we need to roll them in and out, open them, all of that.
Yeah, make it easy. You don't wanna struggle to get your trash cans in and out.
So you're probably wondering what you need to make this.
You need a 4x4 with a 4x4 post base is what they call it. And then for our other 2 structural boards that'll be holding this up, we're gonna use 2x4s, which will...
Treated.
Yes, oh my gosh. Please use all treated wood for this since it will be outside and exposed to the elements.
So we'll be doing horizontal boards across the trash enclosure. So for this, you can use fence boards. This is the option we would have liked to have gone with, but we just recently had a hurricane and everyone bought all of the fence boards. We walked around the entire hardware store and this is the last wood option that was left. And it's treated plywood that we're just gonna use a table saw and cut them into strips.
It'll work.
For the wood, the best option to make it last the longest would be to stain or even seal the boards. I'm gonna try to attempt to use a spray gun for this. First time ever.
Interesting.
If this doesn't work, I'll be busting out the foam roller.
We will also need hinges and some sort of latch since ours will have a door. We will also need lag bolts, which will attach the 4x4 post base to the concrete. And then you will also need screws and a nail gun.
And you just want to be sure that anything that you're using is meant for outdoor use. So stainless steel nails, screws, lags, all that. You want to make sure it's exterior use because it's gonna rust.
So our trash cans ended up being about 3 feet tall or close to 3.5. So we're probably gonna go with 4 foot.
Yes.
4 foot sounds good?
I think.
All right, so 4 foot. So we've got an 8 foot 4x4. We're gonna go ahead and cut that in half and that will be our structural post.
So we're gonna post that in the base and bolt it into our concrete.
This is gonna be fun.
This is gonna be loud. Our neighbors probably hate us.
All right, so we didn't account for the slope and now we're gonna have this leaning tower of fence. So we're gonna have to fix it. And I think what I'm gonna do is just take and put some washers underneath here between the bolts and the concrete and just level it up here. And that'll work.
Ruin the Sharpie, why don't you?
Stop. Drill a hole, you slide that piece in, and then you take a punch and you tap that red piece in the middle and it expands the bottom. So we don't feel comfortable with the anchors. I don't feel like they're secure enough. So we're gonna set them in place with some concrete.
Oh God. Look at this.
Wear gloves. We've got this beautiful 4x4 standing alone. We need to add some other structural wood so that we can kind of see this thing coming together. Next up, we're gonna attach those 2x4s to our brick walls, and this way you can kind of see how this is gonna look.
We're just using a scrap board on top to level it, and then this is how we're getting our measurement for this board. Now that it's level, we're gonna go ahead and hammer drill this into the wall. To make sure it's lined up with this one, he's measuring from the wall to the edge of the board so that we can be sure it's the exact same and everything's nice and level. We're first going to pre-drill so we can have a hole in the board, and then also it'll mark our hole on the wall so we know exactly where we need a hammer drill, and everything will line up perfectly once we go to add our concrete anchors. So we're first gonna line up the 2x4 and draw exactly where our lines are so we know exactly where we need to cut. This is the easiest way when you don't have to measure.
Yep.
So now that we have our skeleton structure put together, we're gonna go ahead and measure the space so we can see what size we need for our horizontal boards.
Yeah.
The most exciting part in my opinion. We're gonna do our boards about 3 to 4 inches. I haven't quite decided yet, but once we know the width of the boards that we want, then we're gonna go ahead and run the plywood through the table saw. We can cut them to size and have them ready to stain and seal.
Yeah.
Update on the spray gun. I kind of hate it for this application. I wish I was filming to show you guys, but look how blotchy it came out. And it used like a quarter of the can already for this, whereas I can probably use a quarter can for almost all of the boards. So scratching the spray gun, and I'm just gonna go ahead and hand stain it. Good old fashioned way.
So we've got all of our panels for the front, which are the longer boards, and then we've also got the panels for our door. We're ready to stain and seal everything before we start building the door and applying the panels to the structure.
And we're just gonna attach those using a nail gun because it's not gonna be holding any weight, so it doesn't really need screws or anything like that.
I think we're gonna use some wood glue too, just to be safe.
Good idea.
And it's cheap, it's only a couple of bucks for a tube, so.
Yeah.
So we've got the front looking really good. The only thing left is to build, assemble, and attach the door. So we're gonna go ahead, measure out the door that can fit in this space, figure out where we want our hinges and our latch, and then we'll build the door and attach it.
When measuring for your door, you want to make sure you're accounting for the space for the hinge because there's like a 1/2 inch gap in there. So this is why we like to use scrap boards and visualize it all before we build. So here we go with the door. And instead of having the top and bottom boards all the way to the top and bottom, we're doing it like this because we're gonna be adding our hinges right here. This is the first time we've used hinges the right way.
Well, we haven't opened it yet.
Could always be wrong.
I know.
Moment of truth.
Wow.
Good job, babe.
Look at that.
Figured it out.
All right, so the door looks really good. It's level, it's hanging there. It closes with the latch, which is great. I really like it. We've got the trash cans in, as you can see. Do you like the way it looks? Does it look hidden? Can you see the trash cans from the street? Let's go see. I don't think there's trash cans there. I would think that there's maybe a hose rolled up in there, maybe some storage stuff. Would have never thought there's trash cans there, that's for sure.
I love it. And you can also use this for lots of different things around your home.
Yeah.
You can cover your AC unit, gas meter, anything that's exposed and you want hidden, you can use this.
Can't even see it. Oh, there's a trash back there? I didn't even know.
So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and we'll see you in the next video.
Bye guys.